Tonight's video is the Jacobin show, which is, Jacobin, the We Hate Niggers channel on YouTube. They might as well just change their name to that. And the uses and abuses of history with Adolph Reed is the name of this video. I am Sam, aka the Khalessi. After watching this video, I had to reach out to our good whites and invite them to come on the show so they can remind me why I shouldn't teach my children when they grow up to hate y'all and to plan the overthrow of your lives. But thank goodness for the good white people in the chat and Gabriel showed up. So we're gonna go through this because I called a couple people on this show and I literally said after watching this video, I wanted to just come in and be like, the white left is doomed, the country's doomed. That's the end of my TED Talk. But I know that that's not constructive and I can't just cast all of y'all to the wolves. But after watching this video, if this is how the majority of the country feels, then, we can march to death together. So
I want to go back to the big thing about history, Walter, because I know that you've been sitting on this for a little while, and I think it's really interesting. So you had sort of mentioned, before your idea that we should basically forget about history, or there's a time and a place for us to forget about history. And I think that your point that if you're poor now, it doesn't really matter how you came to be that way. We should alleviate the poverty. I would 100% agree with that. Now, that said, Adolph, something that I find really useful about your work is that you often utilize or refer to history in a way that I think provides a lot of clarity on where our politics right now should go. And actually, I should say, one of our favorite guests on the show to date has been Touré Reed, who, of course, you both know. And I think that kind of at the height of the liberal hysteria around was the New Deal racist, he did something really useful and interesting, which was that he broke down exactly what the social and political and economic forces were that led to the creation of, say, Social Security or redlining, in a way that I think points us toward universalist reclamation or expansion of public goods rather than what the liberals have been advocating for. Right. So this is a long-winded way of, saying, Walter, when is it that we should ignore history? And Adolph, when is it actually useful to invoke it?
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to do just a quick, just theoretical version, would be like history is useful because knowing the truth is useful. History is completely useless when your claim to social justice is founded on some causal account of how you were victimized, right? So you can do it more specifically than that, but
coming from a person who comes from oppressors, who wants to go first? Since history doesn't matter, who would like to go first? Because we don't want to talk about history doesn't matter because if you're poor anyways because of some oppression, not some oppression, 3 genocides. So if you're poor because of 3 genocides done to you in this country, it doesn't matter because nobody cares about how you got here. But even though you are the poorest of the poor, we want you to take these social programs that we're not going to tell you what are, but we're going to say it's socialism. And you just take this and this shit'll make you stable poor and you can shut the fuck up. That's what I hear. All right, who wants to go first?
I think you just said it all. That's basically what this is. It doesn't take into consideration that people might have politics that are invested in what happened in their history. That's for sure. He just assumes that everyone has the same goal as far as making socialism work so that the people on the bottom can be stable poor. But some of us are looking at this like we have been locked out of participating in this society like everyone else has. So that is kind of our goal. It's not that we are against the idea of the safety nets and all that, but we want to make sure that we're fixed. That's our main concern at this point. And I'm talking
No.
about, go ahead, Sam.
No, we have to forget about history, because if we forget about history, we'll forget every time that we've decided, fuck this race shit. Let's align with the white people. Let's do this union shit. Let's come together as working people. And they got something and they pushed us the fuck out. Let's ignore all of that shit and pretend like their grandchildren will be different. Please keep going, Mud. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, there's that part. And I don't know, like they have not realized that this shit that they're doing is not working, because they probably want to just ignore history. They want to ignore what happened in 2020. They want to ignore what happened in 2016 and not take any of that into account going forward, because they might have to deal with the fact that Black people are not buying into this bullshit.
We're not going to take it.
This is their attempt at wrestling the left away from Black people and giving it over to the whites. Doesn't matter what kind of whites. You can be a little racist, you can be a little Nazi-ish, but we're not dealing with your liberal issues anymore. We only want to deal with these quote unquote class issues now. You're holding us back at this point. And what was it that Walter said? He said, history has no bearing on the need for social justice. Then where does the need for social justice come from? I mean, like, if I bomb your country today, does that mean tomorrow everything's good now?
Yeah, that's brilliantly put.
I just don't understand this concept. But please, somebody else take it, because I'll ramble.
But
I understand it. Go ahead, Gabriel, please.
No, go ahead,
I
Sam.
understand. And I'm just saying, I understand the concept. And this shit right here is radicalizing. Like, this is the thing. White people keep talking about how we need to de-radicalize Nazis and how we need to de-radicalize white supremacists. What y'all gonna do to de-radicalize within this when we get on point? Because I keep saying this, I'm a suburban Negro. I grew up in the United Nations. I didn't grow up in the hood. Like, I had white people problems, okay? Even though my mama worked, so yes, I was raised by my babysitter, but again, I was raised by my babysitter. I didn't like stay at home by myself. I wasn't a latchkey kid. I still had a fucking babysitter. Like, I had somebody who my mama paid for me to stay with. So I grew up in the suburbs. Y'all are pissing me the fuck off. And the worst part is, my fate is not tied to how this plays out. I'm going to be okay. And I'm still fucking angry. What's going to happen when people who the only way that they know they're going to survive is for this to work? Y'all are worried about the wrong people being radicalized.